Welcome to the Clear Shots Podcast with Seth Skinner and Jake Jones.
Hey guys, it's Seth from Clear Shots, and Christian is here for episode 65.
Don't give them clear shots. Don't give them clear shots. Don't give them clear shots. Don't give them clear shots.
All right, I guess we're using that one.
So, you know what word I really hate to hear?
What?
Pussy. But not like when you call somebody a pussy.
Why? What are you talking about? How
I've been
have
thinking
we
about-
been doing this podcast for this long, and now you want to say that you...
I've been thinking about this all day. The other day...
I've heard you use that word
I know,
so many times.
but hear me
That's
out.
what I mean.
Hear me out. The
can't
other
do-
day, a girl used the word pussy as in she was talking about her pussy.
like pussy
and it-
slayers?
Yeah, no. She was like,
Was it the Cardi B video?
no, I wish. But that did creep me out too, man.
Yeah.
That really ruined me for a couple minutes. That was pretty awful.
I don't know.
But
what
no,
that
I
is.
don't know, man. When women talk about their pussies using the word pussy, like, oh, I can't wait for you to play with my pussy later. It's like, I don't like that language, man.
I feel like normal people don't say things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all for camera.
Well,
all for show.
Everybody's recorded when they're around me.
I forgot.
That's true.
I forgot the lights, dude. I gotta get the lights going.
Oh shit, we gotta start over. You gotta go back to Rochester and drive back.
All right. It would
I don't
take
know,
me
man.
fucking 3 hours.
I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know. It's like, oh, you want to play with my little pussy?
So are we starting over?
No.
Oh, we're not?
No.
Well, all right. I wanted to start off by saying that I went to take a piss in your bathroom and somebody left a huge shit in there.
That's cool.
And I had to pee so
Was
bad.
the toilet paper?
It was all clogged, yeah. And I had to pee so bad.
That was nice of him.
And so I just peed over it. And I just left it.
Yeah.
And I felt horrible about it.
Well, I mean, the cause of the clog wasn't your cause. You know, it was like you're just doing what you came there to do.
I initially went in the backyard to see if it was clear, but your fucking mom's out there, like,
the
shoveling.
basement. There's a toilet in the basement.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't work, though.
Yeah, it does.
I thought it was disconnected.
No, it is
Oh, it
connected.
works. It's very connected.
I use it every day.
Do you poo down there?
I wouldn't recommend it, but you
Probably
can.
cold.
I bet if you did, you'd end up the same way that this one ended up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure both toilets in this house are liquids only.
Yeah, I think so.
You
It's
had
like an RV.
Yeah,
Dude, I had a
green water.
dream
you got
last
to brown
night.
bag it.
Speaking of RV, I had a dream last night that there was like basically an RV, but it was shaped like a space shuttle sideways with garage doors on either side. And it was on like the street that I used to live on, but it was down the street from my parents' old house. And so for some reason there was a giant space shuttle there with 2 garage doors on either side and 2 floors. And that's where we were shooting the podcast, upstairs.
In the garage RV?
In the garage spaceship RV, yeah. And in the backyard, it was massive, like this giant field. And the next thing I knew, there was like this giant party going on there. Like everyone was just showing up. I had to like kick people out of the space shuttle so we could record.
Christian was like, "Beat it, Pipsqueak."
Beat it, Pipsqueak. I got my binocs out. I see Jake coming in the distance.
It was honestly one of the most fun dreams I've had. Just
Yeah,
'cause
dude. It sounds like you need to talk to someone.
about yeah, like get a space shuttle or something. You know,
I
I don't know where you get space shuttle RVs.
I don't think you
you
can.
do.
You gotta get it custom made. But it was nice on the inside. There was a bar downstairs and everything, you know.
Downstairs?
Yeah.
Wait,
How big was it?
It had the upstairs and a downstairs. It had a downstairs with a bar and then 2 sets of stairs
Wait,
that
it
go
was an
up.
RV with floors.
Yeah. It was like an RV, like it was a trailer, like it was movable, but it was a giant space shuttle sideways. So you could pull it like you could.
What the fuck does he mean? It's
Was
what
it
do you
on
mean a
wheels?
giant space shuttle.
It's a space
side-
shuttle. It
What-
looks
what
like
do
a
you mean
space
sideways?
shuttle. It's a laying down space shuttle.
Yeah.
So it's a
I can
space
picture
shuttle.
It. It's like
Yeah.
a beefed up airplane.
Yeah.
Okay,
basically.
yeah, that's what I was picturing this whole time. But he kept saying sideways.
Yeah.
So I thought he meant it was like at an angle. Like
It's
No.
horizontal,
Yeah. It's laying down.
but it's got garage on
And then
it.
on either side, there's garage doors
Because
that come up.
in case you want to park your car inside the
Yeah.
space shuttle.
Yeah.
was I in it? Was I in the dream?
Yeah, we were doing the podcast.
Well, I didn't know if you dreamed about other people being on the show. Instead
I mean,
of
I
me.
didn't talk to you at all. I didn't talk to you at all in it, but
I feel like you does.
You dreamed a better co-host.
It's not hard.
Yeah, just put anybody else there.
yeah, it was weird because like the whole upstairs was
well,
like a
I guess I'm
balcony.
starting early.
The whole upstairs was like a balcony, and you could look down into the bar downstairs.
It's creative.
It was fucking dope, and there was a stair, like a set of stairs that
Did you
goes
draw
up.
it? Did you get
I
an
could
architectural
draw it.
drawing?
Hey, do you want me to find out if it can be made for you?
Yeah.
Google it to see
Check
if
it out. Let's see what they say.
Make it.
Did you? Are you asking Elon Musk?
If it, well, make sure he knows it's two
Make sure
floors.
it has garage doors.
Yeah, and 2 floors
With garage doors. 2-story.
and a big backyard.
Wait, that's the part
We're
that confused
basically
me.
on like Realtor.com or something.
Wait,
like
the backyard was attached to the RV?
it was just a giant field, but like it was just like the front of it was like by the sidewalk, so you could go straight through both doors,
so it
both
wasn't.
garage doors.
I'm picturing this like on a trailer hitch. This whole
That's
time.
what I
it
was
was like in
picturing.
the city. Yeah.
Oh,
like-
so it was a trailer.
yeah,
but
you could hook it up if you wanted.
It
to.
had a foundation.
no, but I mean it did kind of.
It had to have had a foundation if
Sort
there
of.
was a basement.
Is it an RV if it's stationary? Or is it just a spaceship with a garage?
well, I figured it was, I looked like it was towable, is what I'm trying to say.
Well,
That's
Yeah.
all I know.
Well, like
It
people
didn't have a basement. It just had a downstairs and an upstairs.
people do that. Oh, okay. Well, my parents do that. They have like a camper. Like they have a camp up at this campsite, but it's really just like a
camper.
camper, but they put a porch on it.
Right.
Okay.
You
So
know
it's
what
like a modular.
It's like a modular, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Well,
So,
those
like
are nice.
you can move it, but you have to disconnect everything.
Right. Like you kind of established where it was.
I think
So it's basically a trailer, I guess.
I think my aunt had one of those, but she had to actually have like a company come put it on a truck
yeah,
and transport it from one place because she had it at like Brennan's Beach, and we transported it out where the camp is on fucking
so
wherever.
weird, dude.
That's
yeah,
how,
just drive my house out here.
Well, that's how.
I've seen like trucks driving with fucking houses.
Those are
on.
modulars.
That's
yeah.
how
What
Wes's
are you
house
doing?
on Brandon Trail. Like all those houses are all modular homes.
so weird to me.
They were all built in chunks.
Yeah, they're built in like a factory, and then they come and put it's like a puzzle.
Yeah, that's why everything in the houses is dog shit.
Yeah.
Like everything is like basic fucking everything.
Right.
Like,
Like
I
I
remember
it falls
the-
off the truck.
You
It
can
has to just.
customize it
Yeah.
after the fact, but like it's pretty bare bones.
Like their cupboards, what before they got them all replaced, were fucking like particle board.
Oh, right.
Like if you slam the cupboard door too hard, it just shattered.
I like how you know that because like I feel like I can picture you shattering a bunch of their cupboards. You're
Well,
like
dude, I
one of
was
these
there-
particle
I was-
board.
Poofs into dust.
I was there when they were building it. What?
The
course-
one on
of
Brennan
course.
Trail was?
Yeah.
That's a huge house.
Yeah.
That's like 3,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty giant.
So did they
It
What kind of
wasn't-
truck did they have, dude? It must have been.
with
big truck?
modulars, they typically have like catalogs, and you go through the catalog and you're like, okay, I want this.
Yeah, it was like I want this room, this room, this room.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was all he. That was basically the house that he wanted for.
He designed it and had the company build it,
Yeah.
but they still had to ship everything.
Okay. So it's not like a
It
modular
wasn't
catalog.
like that. There's that modular across from the park at Fitzhugh that looks way nicer than every other house in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
That one was brought in on a truck.
On a truck, yeah. Like the whole house.
Yeah.
Like that's fully finished on the inside. Like they just drop it off. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
I think
That
they
one
actually
was-
have to do some like foundation work
Yeah.
after, but
That one only got built like fucking maybe not even 10 years ago.
it takes up half the block. It's wicked long.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of the right one.
It's the one literally right on
The yellow
corner.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. It's nicer than every house within like half a square mile
Mm-hmm.
of it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not hard to do. You're near Fitzhugh.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, where are we gonna put this beautiful home?
Let's put it
Where
in
where
the-
else but across the street from like the sketchiest elementary school in
we
Oswego?
need to put it as close to Mary Street as possible.
Oh, or Lion Street.
yeah, yeah.
Or
The
10th and a half.
10th and a half was great.
You owe me a
dude.
Coke. That street still scares me.
It's awesome.
It's awesome, he
It's
says.
so awesome.
We used to skate down there.
Yeah, I mean,
and there was
it's-
always that really long.
there also
wooden
used to be
log.
three of you.
And I
It's
was
still
like,
there.
oh, we're gonna ollie on that. Never did?
That thing's still there because as soon as you ollie on it, it falls apart probably.
Yeah.
It's probably so waterlogged that I don't even know what that is. It's
Dude,
just a rounded square like piece of wood that's just sitting there.
I wish that we would have taken like the building of skateboard ramps and stuff a little bit more seriously, because we always had great ideas, but we never executed.
We never felt like
We'd
doing
get bored, and then we'd build something else, like a hut.
Or a
Yeah.
modular home.
You're like, I mean,
Why didn't you guys ever build a space shuttle?
I feel like we.
I know.
Yeah, I know we didn't do that. I think it's funny because like we never built like a good ramp. Like the best thing we built was the fucking Haggard hut.
That was nice though.
It was pretty good and it was sturdy. It wasn't gonna come down. I just took it down.
We just that was really sturdy. That stayed up for years.
Yeah, it still would be there. I guarantee it would still be there.
We never sat in there,
No,
like not once.
no, of course not. What would you do?
The whole plan originally was like,
It
oh,
was
we're gonna
like
hang out in
4
here.
square feet. Like,
Yeah, it was wicked small. You couldn't even fit a chair in there.
and we were gonna have a drawbridge too, and that never happened.
Yeah,
That could have been easy to do.
we
Actually,
didn't have the material. We
needed-
could probably do it now.
Yeah,
Well, we could
yeah, for
definitely
sure.
do it now.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be as Haggard. I think.
Yeah, it would be just more of like a hut,
Yeah.
like a professionally built hut.
We'd be like sanding it down and shit.
Oh,
Even though we would have thought of that back then. We were like, let's find these 2x4s and pieces of particle board and like bifold door pieces, like and like just nail them into what's already standing.
Right. And we just used any random nails that we could find.
Yeah.
I think we were taking like your
Most
the
of them
change
were
jar
bent.
that was inside.
Yeah, most of the nails were bent afterwards.
You just took them out of other people's porches and shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like Vinny
That's why
was
the neighborhood is so shitty. You guys took
We
all
took
their
all the
porch
wood.
nails.
like Vinny was like sitting there with like little pieces of wood, like trying to
Hitting it
put
because
a
we didn't have
nail
the
into
hammer.
it. Yeah, he wasn't even nail it into anything. He was just hitting it, like trying to
We
nail
didn't
it,
even have a hammer.
bending every nail possible.
That's so funny.
It was great.
We built.
Thanks for inviting me, guys.
Yeah, you were.
You were
dead
too
at the
young.
time.
I would have told you to beat it.
Yeah, I don't even think you were alive.
I was like 13 or 14.
Oh yeah,
probably.
you wouldn't have let me come over.
I think that
That was even after Flargan, though.
that was after Flargan. Yeah,
It's flag.
you weren't around for that,
Flargan was like,
dude. And I feel your pain because I got beat at Pip Squeaked by a guy that joined the Flargan thing after I was in it,
yeah. He was post Flargan. He was late Flargan.
and then he was basically like beat at Pip Squeak.
Yeah.
It
We
hurt.
we just did like.
I'm sorry.
We basically
I'm glad
just-
that happened to you. I hope it happens again.
We basically just did stupid shit with a camera. Is basically what we.
Oh,
did.
like eating nothing and all
It was
that?
like
Yeah,
Jackass.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was kind of like Jackass, but not as intense.
My
It was more
parents would-
stupid than dangerous.
The winter ones were funny.
Yeah.
Like
Those
Sean,
ones are all gone though.
Sean going off the grill backwards
Yeah.
into like the porch was probably dangerous.
Yeah, it was. We went. It was off of like the shed, like the top of the shed.
Yeah, we
'cause
went off
the
the
snow was so high that like it was up to the top of our shed, and the grill was like down here. So the top of the shed's here, and the grill's here, and then the snow is basically just a ramp. So he was like, "I'm going down that," and then he went down it backwards on like
But
one
like
of those.
you get to the bottom where you're supposed to stop, and it's just like a 4-foot gap. So
Yeah.
as soon as you get to the bottom, you're hitting. Like,
You
you're gonna smack
immediately
off
hit the
porch.
fence. Yeah.
You guys
there
were
was
fucked.
there was one where like I was trying to jump off the swing and into the barrel, like the
Dude,
blue
you
barrel.
fucked your leg up doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost landed it though. I landed in it.
And then you had that rope swing that you got up in the tree, and you like sat in it. And I feel like we had that discussion of like somebody's gonna break their arm doing this.
Yeah.
And
That
you're
wasn't
like,
even on camera
"No."
though. That was like
It
in
wasn't
the
on
morning.
camera.
Yeah. That was like in the morning and I like was in this tree with the rope swing.
And he swings out, and you had done that like a
Yeah, a million times. I probably could do it right now.
And he basically just jumped out of the tree like straight onto his arm.
basically. Like everything was fine and then I felt myself falling so I put my arm down, which is just a natural reaction. Obviously shouldn't have done that.
Why?
Because my
How high
arm
up
went
were you?
right into the ground and
It was a tree,
maybe
Yeah, well,
7 feet,
maybe
6
7,
okay.
probably 7 foot.
You broke your arm.
If you're thinking of this, because I think you were
Yeah, it was
standing.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a big break though. It was just like a fracture, like here. That was the only thing I ever broke.
Go get mom. No.
Oh, I broke my thumb, but other than that, yeah, I was like, literally, I was like, yeah, go get mom, and Sean goes, no. Like what? Like, dude, what?
How
Why?
old were you when that happened?
I don't know, 15, maybe.
Yeah.
So Sean would have been like 9.
I think he was like freaked out. He was like, what's going on?
Because I'm the same age as Sean. So like, Jesus. So yeah, he would have been like fucking 9 or 10.
Yeah,
I was there, so I must have been like 5.
yeah, he was there.
I wasn't super happy about having to go tell your mom that you broke your arm, though.
Yeah, he broke his arm.
He broke his arm.
It's so bad. There's blood everywhere.
Newspaper is like a
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta do something.
How bad did it hurt?
I didn't really even feel it, honestly. You don't. You really don't feel it.
You're
like,
just like scared.
yeah. It kind of like looked like it was bad a little bit, but I also was like, I don't know. There's no way it was.
No. You had a cast for a while, though.
Yeah.
I remember you being a dick, and like you'd hit me with your cast.
That sounds exactly like something he would do.
Yeah. You're supposed to do that.
I feel like Seth would break his arm just to hit me with the cast. Like he
Or
probably
I'd
did
just
that on
get a
purpose,
cast.
or
I
you
mean,
just get a cast
you
put
don't
on
need
to
to
hit
break
me
your
with it.
arm.
Right.
Just
Be
tell
like,
them
hey
that
doc,
you
I
need a
need a
cast.
If
cast.
you're gonna do it 100%.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could always just probably buy a cast nowadays, you know?
So was it a compound fracture or just a fracture?
No, it's just a fracture.
Because compound fractures are cool.
Yeah,
That's when
not
it
really.
breaks in half, right?
That's when it breaks.
It's when
and
it comes
goes
through
your
the skin.
Oh no. No.
Yeah, like that one guy that when he played basketball. What the fuck was his name? Remember that where Kevin Ware?
Kevin
he played
Ware,
for
yeah. Oh,
Louisville. He slid.
Oh. Yep.
That was awesome.
That was horrible.
The bottom of his leg basically stood up.
The bottom of his leg was like, "Hey guys, look at me!
Have you ever broken anything?
I've broken my nose and I've broken a couple hearts." I
haven't
got
broken anything.
In
actually-
bongs.
in bongs. No, I've never broken a bong.
What about bowls?
Oh no, I've broken my own bong once.
Oh.
Because
I actually haven't either. I don't think I've ever broken any of that stuff.
it was really stupid from my end because I had a bong that one of my friends actually made for me, and the slider was at the top. So like if the bong looked like this, you would inhale from here, and the slider was here. So it was actually more of a giant bubbler.
Yeah.
Rather than a bong, and we were smoking, and he handed me the bong, and I grabbed it by the slider, and the thing just fucking slid.
Slider.
And
What did you expect it to do? It's called a slider, dude. It's like,
I just remember staring at it. We died laughing and just left the glass there for a
what's
while.
funny is like every time a bong gets broken, I feel like it's never the owner that breaks it. It's always
Oh no, it never
another
is.
person.
Yeah.
I've broken bowls in like desperate times on purpose because like we were being scummy and had to like scrape the resin out of it.
Yeah.
So like I've smashed it and then picked up all the little glass pieces and like scraped the resin
Were you
out.
there when we did that?
Jesus,
We did that at Peel's house one time.
Yeah.
Like Jesse was there. Like we put like
Of course he was.
yeah.
Let me get in on that resin.
I'll throw down. Dude.
We put paper towels over it and shit.
Love you,
and started
Jesse.
smashing it with
Yeah.
a hammer.
Dude, I remember I like blacked out one night at Peel's house and you guys like wrestled me while I was like passed out drunk.
Oh yeah.
And like you said you like were like legitimately throwing me around. I woke up and like had no clue you guys were doing
I think
that.
I hit a swanton or two. I for sure did a frog splash at one point.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, you just weren't waking up. It's like, oh, you weren't concerned about that?
I mean, you were
Dude.
breathing. You were breathing though.
Yeah, that's
Actually-
all that matters.
The story of how I broke my nose is actually kind of funny. I don't know if you guys know. I don't want to say his name, but I'll tell you after that.
Just do his initials.
I'll just type his name in here.
I'll just Google it real quick.
Did you get any responses?
From Elon?
We're still waiting
Can
to
you
find
talk
out
to
if.
Elon?
This guy.
Oh, on Twitter?
Oh, okay.
He'll respond.
Do you know this guy? I don't think you do. He's Christian's age.
No.
No. Used to be a good friend of mine. I don't know what happened to him.
He looks like he's in the Backstreet Boys.
He was.
In 90s.
He like disappeared. He was a good friend of mine.
Yeah, he was nice.
Yeah, he was. But he
probably joined the Backstreet Boys, right?
well, he started doing like Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu or something, and he was also at Pryor's Taekwondo with me at the time. But he stopped going to Taekwondo to do the other I think it was Jiu-Jitsu. And so what we would do is we would like beat each other up at the bus stop because we were like 12. And I think he started doing Taekwondo again and wanted to practice because he had a test like that week. And like he forgot that when you do the self-defense moves that you're not supposed to go full force. And we just got done like punching each other hard. And he actually hit me in the face wicked hard, and my nose went like 45 degrees.
Yeah, that's not
And
cool.
the best part was that there's like someone else at the bus stop freaked out, and she ran like to her house, which was right next to the bus stop.
Oh my god!
And her dad came out with like napkins and paper towels and like clean up all the blood, and then just reset my nose, and then went back in my house.
Yeah.
So
What's up, dude?
dude, it hurt so
supposed
bad.
to. Yeah,
And like it was like for a solid week, my nose would just randomly just go bloody.
I was thinking about that.
I didn't
day.
tell my parents for months. They didn't even notice.
Like, I feel like when people are like a lot of times in gyms, like if you're just rolling or whatever, you'll be like, hey, let's go like 60% on this. Like, let's not go hard. And then what happens is like somebody like goes a little bit over on something, and then the
it's
next
a
person
ladder.
goes, oh, like maybe I should one up that a little bit. And then it just escalates. And then eventually before you know it, you're going 100% in a fucking just rolling in jiu-jitsu or something.
Dude, I was like, when we were doing it for that like couple years, I was getting pretty good at it. And like, I think in my mind, I think that I've still been good at it.
Yeah.
And like, so like, I have a tendency for some reason of like, every once in a while wrestling people when I'm drinking. And I fucking lose every single time. Like, I was drinking like a month ago or something, and I ended up wrestling this kid. And of course, everybody like videos everything now. So it's on Snapchat, and everybody's like, oh my God, Christian got in a fight, blah, blah, blah. And I lost.
You were only going 60%.
I lost. And then afterwards, I was out smoking a cigarette, and the kid, he was a cool guy, came out and I was talking to him. And, you know, like, well, where are you from? How old are you? Blah, blah, blah. And it comes to find out he's like 18. I'm like, oh, that's great. He was good, though. And I'm not.
He was pretty good for 18.
Yeah, he was pretty good for 18.
Yeah, I gotta stop doing that.
I'll have one for the 18-year-old.
Do it.
I mean, did you at least get him in your guard or anything?
I was doing. I do. The problem is that like I'm drunk, so like I almost immediately lose all coordination.
Yeah.
I'm very confident going in, and I'm probably not that bad at it. You know, I feel like you retain like most of that.
Yeah.
You should practice.
Yeah.
But like I still know how to do what I was doing.
That's what I mean. I feel like I'd know how to set things up. I don't know if I'd be able to execute it.
Right.
Still.
The muscle memory is all there, but the big thing that you learn is that you should stretch all the time.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you guys about that fight I got in with Tim, which is funny because I just went out to the bar with him the other day, and we were telling other people that story, and we were talking about how sore we were the next day, not because of the fight, but because we didn't stretch before we fought.
Yeah.
Like
No one really stretches that much anyway. Like in general, it's like animals know
you're
their
supposed
shit,
to stretch
dude.
every time you wake
Yeah.
up.
Like
And I
dogs are
stretch,
like
once
dogs
a
are
month.
like, I got this shit figured out. Like they get up and they're like, and they immediately stretch out. It's because and we like just get up and we're like,
Yeah, brush teeth, walk out the
Yeah.
door.
I think I don't know. I think it'd be cool if humans were cold-blooded sometimes.
yeah, it'd be cold though, probably, right?
Well, no, that's not exactly what that means, but no. You know what I was thinking the other day? I was asking Zamaya about this. I hung out with Z
I
the
think-
other night.
Well, I think the reason we've adapted to certain things is because we're not cold-blooded. Also,
Yeah, no, we'd probably all overheat and die if we
Yeah,
weren't cold-blooded.
Like, we'd be in a rough shape, I think.
Yeah, we'd probably only be living in like Carolina.
Yeah.
Like if we were cold-blooded.
Carolinians have it figured out. If we ever turn cold-blooded,
Yeah.
Just like that,
That's
all moved on.
That's a
That'd be fine.
really creative virus, like a virus that turns you cold-blooded.
yeah.
It's like,
We should come up with that.
yeah. Kenny.
Ask Elon Musk.
Hashtag cold blooded.
Yeah, so I was wondering, like, how much money would you have to receive for yearly for the rest of your life for you to sever all the toes off of one of your feet? So, like, I was talking to Zamai about this the other day and a couple other guys, and we agreed on, like, a $60,000 a year salary for 25 years is enough to remove all the toes off of one of your feet.
How do you have to remove the toes?
I do it.
Okay.
Is it numb?
If you want to be put under, you have to watch the video once a week.
Of you doing it?
With me in the room, yeah. Or you can get a topical anesthetic like Novocaine,
Yeah.
and then you don't ever have to watch the video because you lived through it and you saw it.
Ugh.
Would you do that for $60,000 a year?
No.
Government benefits?
I'd do it for like 150.
$60,000 a year. I don't know about that.
$150,000 a year?
I'd probably do it for like 150, 200 grand maybe. But then
I would take
you're all
that.
off balance and shit for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, just you could get like.
No.
What if you just like
Nope.
cheat and put a couple like things in there?
No, you can't. I'm gonna
Like
check.
take some
I-
hot dogs on toothpicks and like jam them in there.
I put like I get like a probation sort of officer to check your toes like every 8 hours, no matter where you are in the world. to
make sure they're.
to make
I don't
su-
know. I feel like all that regulation wouldn't be worth it.
Well, it's worth it to somebody, so jot that down.
Well, I guess you could learn to like use your heel a little more, for balance.
Well, I
You'd
mean,
be
how
walking
much?
funny.
I don't think I could do it just because I like wiggling my toes. Like, it's just a good feeling.
I feel like
That's
you get
true.
used to it.
We talk about stretching, so.
Some people involuntarily lose all of their toes at once.
Yeah.
They don't get anything. for
Yeah,
it.
they don't. Well,
They don't get to negotiate and be like, oh, I'd do like 120K.
Well, sometimes it's their fault. Like, they eat too much sugar or something, and they're like, all right, you can either get the pump or give me those.
Give me them toes.
Give me them little
Yeah.
piggies. They're
Belly
like
full of
snipping them
toes.
off.
Well, I'm
They're like,
thinking more like people that are working with heavy equipment and it just falls.
Yeah.
Oh
onto
yeah,
their
and the
toes.
steel toe cuts all their toes off.
Boom.
Do you know that that's what the steel toe is for?
To cut your toes off?
Like, yeah, dude.
I thought it was to protect your toes.
No. It's so if something heavy enough lands on your toes, it severs them instead of breaking them all because it's easier to reattach your toes when they're severed rather than crushed into thousands of pieces.
Oh, that makes sense.
My lord.
Yeah, dude.
God damn it.
I know. I hate that I read things.
I watched my old coworker cut his thumb off. And that was horrible.
With what? Toes?
With a table saw.
Oh, the whole thumb?
It was to the knuckle.
Did he reattach it or no?
No.
No, did he have
Dude,
a
like, I
necklace?
don't know how people
It's
who
fucked
work
up.
with table saws every single day don't do that. Like, don't constantly cut shit. Because, like, I feel like when you do something every day, you get complacent and you get used to just being just doing it.
Yeah.
And with a fucking table saw,
You should be
don't
careful.
do that. Yeah, like, how about pay attention?
I don't like table
And like
saws,
the
man.
smallest, I don't think people realize like the smallest nick will
Yeah,
fuck your
dude.
day up. Like he
It'll
reached
fuck
over.
your week up, dude.
Right. He like just reached over to grab the piece of wood and it was just enough. And it like just, cause it like kind of draws you in cause it's got that like
The
hook.
teeth, right?
Yeah. So like instead of you just getting nicked, it like drags you down
Yeah.
and then it cuts the rest of your thumb off or whatever appendage.
How fast do those things spin?
Very fast.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
well that's not. Kenny,
How many RPMs?
how many RPMs is a standard table saw?
Jamie, pull that up.
Well, that's why I love having him here.
Yeah, we should have him run OBS for us.
You need to get him a laptop. So it moves a little faster.
RPM or RBM?
RPM.
Rounds per minute.
No, it's just the way I talk. Oh, I had a really cool thing that happened this week. So my dad has a cousin, and she's in like her mid to late 60s, and
1,000 to 50,000,
2,000 to 50,000?
3,000, or up to 50,000, depending on
The saw.
Jesus.
woodworking tools, from table saws to portable saws, right down to tiny, very evolutionary speeds from around 3,000 RPM revolutions per minute.
3,000 RPMs.
RPM if it's direct drive motor.
Jesus.
That's really fast.
Didn't they invent a saw though? If
Yeah.
you touch it, it just stops.
Yeah, that's like a safety feature.
Optimally it would just stop. I
Well,
mean,
then
you
who's
sure
the
as
guy
fuck-
that's like, I'm gonna
who's the
test this?
testing guy? Yeah.
You know?
Well,
they
it's not
probably
your
have.
coworker anymore.
Mm-mm.
I would
He doesn't have
imagine-
anything to test it.
I
He's
mean,
like,
logically speaking, you wouldn't test it with a finger. Like you would test it
Is
with
that like a
anything
hot
else.
dog?
Yeah. That's where you bring in the hot dogs. Bring in the dogs.
So what's your dad's cousin do?
Oh yeah, so she ended up like going through. They have their old house that is on their property that they used to live in, and then they have the newer. I should say the most recent house. Like it's still from like the 80s or 70s.
Is it shaped like a rocket ship?
No, but they found a box of like my great grandma's old stuff, and they actually found pictures of my family from like the 1800s.
Oh, that's sick.
And we finally found out where our family is from. And they're from Ontario, Canada. So this whole time I thought I was Dutch, and I'm actually Canadian. Which explains so much.
Yeah, it does.
My disposition, my affinity for the cold, my weird accent.
Yeah.
You know?
You say A all the time.
I do all the dude. I do it so much you don't even notice it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, you could have said it 50 times already. I would never know.
I have. You just play it back. You'll hear it, dude.
Run that back. Real quick.
Yeah. No, but I thought it was really cool. I didn't get to look at the pictures yet. My dad took them up to camp with him, but I want to go through them. There's a picture of like my great grandpa when he was a kid, from like the early 1900s. And there's a picture of my grandpa and all of his siblings in like the fucking 50s or something.
It's weird looking at
And like a couple of his siblings, my dad never even got to meet. So it was really cool that.
Yeah.
Well, you have such a skewed view of like what the 1800s were.
Yeah, I know.
Because all the photos, like you had to be so still because it took so long to develop. So it's like all you see is just everybody looks miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I imagine people were more joyful.
It's always like they always look creepy just because everyone looks miserable and
it's
they're in
always
black
a
and
sepia
white
filter, dude.
Yeah,
I hate
yeah.
that shit.
Like, dude, it's like our grandma has like a whole on our whole stairway. It's just a bunch of pictures of like the family and shit. And there's some that are like super old, and it's like I don't know who that is. Like I don't know who some of those fucking people are, and it's like they're in our family, like in our bloodline, but they look like they're meant to be in that picture's meant to be in a haunted house. Like,
Yeah.
Our great grandfather got hit by a train.
yeah, he got hit by it. I don't. How do you get hit by? How do you get hit by a train?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
I think that he had like earmuffs on, is what I've heard, and like because earmuffs really cover the sound of a train.
Right, like you would feel the vibrations. You're on the train tracks, right? You have to be. You
I would
can't be
imagine.
not on it. Those things don't usually go off the train tracks.
It just decided to take a little free ride.
Wagon got stuck or something.
Yeah.
Story.
But does it get off?
Yeah, like don't be on it.
Get hit by trains makes me miss Terry Davis.
It's a weird fucking concept, dude. If you're gonna work on a train, at least work off to the side, They teach us to do that with everything, electrical and like gas. Because if anything goes wrong, it's gonna come back towards you. Like arc flashes are gonna come towards you. Fucking anything with gas is gonna fucking shoot outward. It's looking for anywhere to escape. And if you're working on it, chances are you're the spot for it to escape. Especially with electricity, it's gonna go through you.
It wants to, yeah.
Yeah. So like anything, I feel like anything you work with, you got to be off to the side, unless it's a fucking table saw.
And just never ignore how powerful the shit that you're working on is.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing electrical, because
Yeah.
I was doing a dryer for my mom. I was just putting a new dryer in, and I was just like not paying attention, and I had the plug still plugged in. And I had disconnected everything. Somehow I didn't get electrocuted while I was disconnecting everything. And I went and pulled the prawns out.
Fuck. What is that?
What?
What's going on with your fucking hand, man?
It's a watch.
Yeah, what's going on with that? It's to show me pictures. I just saw your dick.
Oh, damn it.
Why are you sending other people pictures
That's
of
his
your dick?
desktop.
I'm supposed to be the only one getting
I'm
pictures of your
sorry.
dick.
That's his wallpaper, dude.
Ugh.
Yeah, my wallpaper's just my wiener.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a surprise.
Is it the Apple Watch?
Yeah.
That's way cooler than my watch.
I like it, dude. I was super hesitant on buying it. And I couldn't.
So you can spin that thing around.
Yeah. That kind of just scrolls. But yeah, basically I almost got electrocuted. When I pulled the prongs through, it shut the entire house down.
Ooh, shit.
Oh, so
Blew
it
the
blew
main
the
breaker.
fuse. Yeah.
Oh, man.
You-
You would
the
have
thing
lost
is-
all of your skin.
Dude, it blew up like right in my face. Like it was just huge white
Yeah.
flash, and then I was like, "Oh shit!"
Mhm.
And I didn't get electrocuted.
Yeah,
if
you're
I would've-
lucky
if
there
I
was a
would've
fucking
touched it-
fuse in that
If I
main
would have
breaker.
touched it, and I had my hand on the dryer, that current would have just ran straight through me.
Mhm.
Like,
Man.
Yeah.
Then
And
we
if
wo-
there's no fuse, it's going. You have to depend on basically like the pull top transformer to blow.
yeah,
And if that doesn't blow, and if that blows, it's going to put out a bunch of people like in the neighborhood are going to be out of power.
I would have
'cause you-
died. I
Oh.
mean, it was a 208, 220. You can survive it.
yeah.
But it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, you'd end up like
It's really going to hurt.
I'd have
It's going to
some
put you on
burns.
your ass.
you'd end up
dude.
like fucking Terry Schiavo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, it's not to be fucked with.
No, dude, electricity is scary. And my dad's teaching me how to do that now because we're fixing up the apartment building that's like over there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, my least favorite thing about working with my dad on stuff, especially when it's anything to do with your hands, he'll be like, "Don't do this," and then he'll explain it, and then he'll do it in front of me. And then I'm like, well, why can't I do it? And he goes, because you'll probably die if you do it. I've been doing it since like I was 15, so it's cool.
Right.
It's fine. So I'm like, all right, well, that's really discouraging.
Well, you're like, why can't I start now? Like I'm not
Yeah.
15.
yeah. Yeah, it's always like, hey, don't do this. Proceeds to do that exact thing.
Yeah.
All
Let me
right,
show
here
you
we go.
exactly not what not to do.
Yeah. My dad's like, hey, see this? Don't do it. And then he fucking kills himself with the electricity.
Grabs a hold of the primary.
Then I'd never be able to find out why not to do it because he wouldn't answer the question. He'd just be cooked.
Wait, why can't I do it?
Dad!
I don't get it. Why can't I do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, electricity is well, and any machine that's bigger than you is scary too. Like working at Interface and Novellus, especially Interface, dude, the lockout tagout system was a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Very important.
I almost lost both my arms once because a guy tagged it out but never locked it out. And I was like cleaning out this machine that had these 2 giant calendar rolls on it. And like as I'm cleaning it out, I just hear it go, "Brrrt," and I heard the alarm and the lights flash, and I jump back, and maybe 3 seconds after I jump back, the thing just went zzz, and like closed up and everything. My arms were right into it where I was.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was like in the fucking machine. Like
Yeah.
that guy did not. He didn't come to work again for like 2 weeks after that. He had to
Probably
go-
got in trouble.
He got in a lot of trouble. He had to get sent to he had to redo all of the, I don't know if your job made you do it, but you have to sit there and watch like every single OSHA video ever made.
No, I don't have to do
No.
that.
Oh my God.
I don't have that like kind of machinery at my facility. It's more like just the larger stuff's air handlers and like
What do you
Can't
even do
really
anyway?
Well,
Do you work
machinery
at, like, a
obviously.
Starbucks?
yeah.
I have
Yeah.
no idea what
I'm
you do.
a barista.
Yeah. Just brews espressos all day.
No, I'm like a mechanic at this
Oh, okay.
nursing facility.
Word.
Right now, it's until I
The
graduate.
thing is, like, machinery is designed to make jobs easier, but it also makes them way more dangerous.
Yeah.
And I don't know, dude. It's a weird thing because like it does make a lot of things easier, and they always stress anytime you use anything really is to fucking follow procedure.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. As long as you work safe, you're fine.
Yeah. And, just don't,
People cut corners though. That's what I mean. Is like
Yeah.
when you do it for X amount of years, you get complacent, you start cutting corners, and that's when workplace injuries happen.
Happens all the
I
time.
mean, shit, that's how, there's been people that died at fucking Novellus because they were cutting corners.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they were,
But it's like in a place like that where like you could make a small mistake and have a huge
literally
issue.
blow up the entire
Yeah,
facility.
yeah. Or like the nuke plant or something. You
Yeah.
can't fucking be making mistakes there.
Like there was the guy that got crushed by all the metal blocks at Novellus a long time ago, and basically they were talking about how, I don't know if you've ever seen the
He
Prime.
climbed it, yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to count how many there were or something, and fucking climbed it.
28,
Each
29.
Each block is
Well,
like
but this thing's like 1,000 pounds.
Literally.
Like a coil is like 1,000 pounds.
they're fucking ginormous. Oh wait, there was the guy that got crushed by the coils too. That one was
That was more
fucked.
recently.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That one was bad. He climbed. He turned the machine off, didn't lock it out, and then climbed in, And then somebody saw that the machine was shut off, but it wasn't put into like standby mode or whatever. So they put it into standby mode, and it had to readjust itself and just fucking sucked them in, squished them.
Now the worst thing, like I feel horrible for the person that it happens to, but imagine the coworkers that have to experience like watching somebody that they work closely with get crushed by an ingot.
There was a dude that one of my teachers was talking about, like, who, like, he basically saw a dude fucking get fried by a primary. Like, completely fried. Like, you will get fucking fried, too. Yeah. Like, your boots will be the only thing left.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked up how much voltage is going through those. There's dudes, like, the problem is you have to work with, everything has to be insulated that you work with. But, like, when you're working with that much voltage, sometimes it just doesn't matter.
Well, if, like, the current draw is that, like, high, it's, like, you just got to be weary of it. Because, like, you can have a 208 but have low current amperage, and, like, you won't get hurt.
That's, I mean, in a good scenario, I mean. Well, not.
Because out at Novellis, they work on, like, 440 or something like that, but the amperage is low on some of the machinery, so they don't get hurt if they get shocked.
They need that much. They need that much amperage going through, though,
because of the 2 deaths that have happened. I mean, they've happened within the past like 6 or 7 years. Both of them. Like, there's the safety procedures there are so insane. Like,
it's not even just work though. Like, even at home, like, just the way our infrastructure is, like, shit's dangerous.
Yep.
Like, if there's a fucking, like, if you have a gas leak and you're, like, over the lower explosive limit, you get out of the fucking house.
My fucking... Like, when I lived on Van Buren Street, some fucking retard almost blew up my fucking house once.
It'll blow up just from gas. Like, you don't need really that much of an ignition source. Like, anything static electricity can set that shit off.
Did I ever tell you this story about how my apartment almost blew up? I'm pretty sure I did.
I don't know.
Fucking... I lived on Van Buren, and we had our friend Seth, different Seth, not this one. Yeah. Our friend Seth from Syracuse came over. We had a big party. I wake up in the morning. It's like 9 in the morning. And I go out in the living room, and I turn my PlayStation on, and I go, and as I'm walking into the kitchen, I can smell gas. Now, we had a fucking we had a gas stove or whatever. And I walk in there, and this dude, as I'm walking in, has a metal pot with ramen in it, trying to put it in the microwave. And has the burner on, has the gas on, but the burner off, because he thought it was like, you have to wait for it to turn on. And it didn't turn on, and he just left it. The dude, like, woke up and got super, super high, smoked all the weed that was left over from the night before, and then tried to cook ramen in a metal pot in the microwave. And if I didn't wake up and catch him, and he managed to fucking turn the microwave on with that metal pot in there.
Oh, that would have been bad.
Yeah. Would have blown up. Luckily, my room was on the opposite side of the house, so I might have been okay.
Yeah.
I would not have wanted to wake up to that.
No. It probably still would have fucked some shit up. Dude, there was a guy who had one happen in, like, Syracuse area, and
maybe it's the same guy.
Like it was like a couple years back. I think it was like two or 3 years back. Like around Valentine's Day, there was like a big storm, and this dude like had a gas leak, and he wasn't even home, and there was a giant explosion in his house. It leveled his house, his neighbor's house, and like the house, 2 of the houses across the street.
Well, a gas leak explosion is different from like a gas stove explosion,
yeah,
right?
But gas still is fucking.
It would still connect to the
really fucking bad.
That's true, yeah.
That's why they make it smell the way it does.
Yeah, it's called mercaptan.
Natural gas doesn't have an odor.
Yeah. They add it down the line.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There's like different spots throughout the distribution system too, and they add it. It's called mercaptan, and it smells like fucking gas.
That's what stink bugs kind of smell like, honestly.
Kind of, yeah.
Maybe that's where the stink bugs
But it's a unique smell, so that you know that it's fucking gas.
Yep, that's gas.
But they were saying like you can't just add it once and then push the gas through, because it's gonna, it disappears. Like things can take that smell away, like as it travels. So you have to add it constantly, like a little bit of it down the line. It's fucking weird, man. If that shit didn't have a smell, you'd be fucked.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what's the problem with like carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
Is that like they can't odorize that.
No. Have you ever read that fucking? It's a kind of a chilling story. I'll send it to you guys on Facebook about this guy that he would walk around his house and notice like Post-it notes in his handwriting that he didn't remember writing. and got really confused because he didn't know if something was going on in his head. And then
he's got multiple personalities or something. He's just like waking up in the middle of the night writing notes to himself.
That's what he was doing. He had a carbon monoxide, like a very faint carbon monoxide leak in his house. And when he slept, he was going to be in his house, obviously, 6 to 8 hours, breathing all that in. And he would wake up in the middle of the night and write notes and leave them around the house. He ended up going to the doctor like 2 or 3 times thinking that he had like fucking dementia or something. But he was like in his mid-20s. So obviously he didn't have dementia. And eventually somebody online suggested, maybe there's a gas leak or a radon leak or CO leak in his house.
It's like, oh.
Yeah. Fucking Yahoo Answers saved his life, apparently.
They have meters that you can check.
That story is way scarier when you read it at 1 a.m. It's a lot less scary when you hear it from a half-drunk Jake Jones at fucking 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
He's like, Yahoo Answers. Is it weird to write Post-it notes to myself and not remember it? And then the first answer,
what
it says, best answer, yes. Period.
Yeah.
Check for gas leak.
And then it has a bunch of thumbs up on it.
But even radon is kind of scary, dude. Like, one of my friends of the family they just bought like a brand new house on the lake and were like 2 years ago and they've been fixing it up. And they got fucking kicked out of their house because the radon levels in that area got too high.
Yeah, you don't.
So I don't even know if you get reimbursed for all that. I think you get like an amount, but you don't get reimbursed like the whole value of your house and property and stuff. And there were certain things in the house that they couldn't even take with them because it attaches to their house, their belongings. I guess.
Jesus Christ.
That's weird.
It's some fucked up shit. I'd have to find out.
The world is fun.
I don't know, man. I don't think it is.
It's pretty dangerous.
I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII.
A lot of
I kind of
danger.
just want to live there, really. It's a lot more fun to, like, shoot people with lightning and ride giant ostriches around and hang out with Asian women. I feel like
hang
that's
out
just
with Asian women in real life.
No, I can't, dude. I'm not cool enough.
When you think about it, it's like, is the Super Mario world more dangerous than this world?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's
constantly in danger.
Guaranteed. And sometimes he's not even putting himself in danger.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to eat, first of all. He doesn't really eat.
He only eats mushrooms, first of all.
And that's what makes him big and
Does
strong.
he eat? I guess you could just eat one mushroom and then you stay big and then
Until
jump up onto a
until
platform.
something touches you.
Well, yeah,
and
but
then you
just don't
shrink.
get touched. If you're up on top, the things don't jump.
Yeah,
Certain things don't jump.
Seconds to stay in a certain area, otherwise you die.
Oh, yeah, there's a
Yep.
timer.
Yeah.
Imagine being on a timer.
I was gonna say, isn't he just trying to like go across town, basically?
Basically,
like, why
yeah.
is everything?
His whole
He's
thing is
basically
really
like
just
trying to go to
get laid.
Walmart. Yeah.
He
Like-
just, all of it's for that princess.
Yeah, he's trying to like go to the Dollar Tree or some shit to get like a fucking greeting card.
Do you think Princess Peach takes it in the ass, or do you think she's classy?
I mean, she doesn't have a choice.
I think it's
Her name's Peach.
that's very true. I figured Daisy would be the really kinky one, and Peach would be the prim and proper one.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
I'm texting.
How are you texting on your fucking watch?
You just
You
do
do
it.
write
Writing
it.
out every letter individually?
Yeah.
That is mental.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's-
he's opening up a whole new world for me. And I'm going to open up my asshole for him to let me join that world.
Deal.
Perfect. I have a golf ball in there right now with a picture of Mr. Bean on it, so I want you to find it.
Okay. We'll get into that.
It'd be pretty easy to find.
Dude, I love how quickly the topics transition.
Yeah.
Like going from like the sadness of real life work injuries
To golf
to
balls with
like
Mr.
me
Bean.
searching in his butthole for
Yeah.
golf balls.
It always comes back around though,
Usually.
We're gonna take a left turn here in any minute.
We'll like bring it back. We'll come back
I
to
don't know, man. I think life is just too scary to talk about all the time. That's why I really like role-playing games that aren't The Witcher and also that aren't Critical Role. I don't
Yeah.
like to do things that people tell me to do
yeah.
or recommend me. That's why I don't shower.
He only likes things that people don't talk about.
Mostly, except Final Fantasy VII, which is like pretty popular
I guess.
with the IT crowd.
Do people talk about it though?
I do. I talk about it every day, probably. It's like I'm
Never
actually.
played it.
You should. It's pretty fun. But you don't like video games, do you?
I play video games.
Oh, well, maybe you should try it out. I don't know. Try it out. Piss on me, beat me. I don't care.
Oh.
You want to move in, you can move in.
I need to be fucked and fucked good. You want to fuck me? You could fuck me hard.
I love that fucking South Park episode If I was gonna fuck my son, I'd kiss him first.
Yeah, that's the one where Cartman tries to get the iPad or whatever.
I like to be
Gives him a
wined and
kiss.
dined before I get fucked.
I feel like that's Cartman all the time. Like, he always does that shit.
I just started watching that show again, dude, and I think it's so funny. Like, I don't like the more recent seasons because they're like just following that whole political train shit. But everything before that, like where like every episode had its own storyline, those
Yeah.
episodes were great.
I think they were really political back then, but it wasn't as polarizing back then. It was, I don't know.
Well, now every episode seems to like lead into the next one. So like,
Yeah, that
rather than it just be like, oh, I can watch this episode and then like I can watch an episode like episodes away in the same season, but I don't have to know what happened in the past 3
I feel
episodes.
like they're just less subtle with like what they're talking about now. Like they're way
Yeah.
more direct with like this is about politics.
they're like kind of hitting you over the head with their fucking,
yeah,
you know.
like because back in the day they would have like everything would mean certain things and you could sort of tell what it meant.
Why?
Like they always had like Man Bear Pig was like global warming and shit, and like it
Yeah.
was kind of like the symbolism stuff. But like now it's more in your face.
Now
and-
Garrison's Donald Trump.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Which is funny how that came to be because like
they were thinking he was gonna lose, so they
Yeah.
were just gonna have him do that and like for
And then
a while.
lose.
And then when he won, they were like, "Fuck!" Now we have to go with it. Like,
yeah, that's why that season was so bad because they literally
yeah.
did
Trump
not.
ruined South Park.
He might as well have.
it's Trump's fault.
I mean, indirectly.
He didn't mean for that to happen.
Yeah,
I think Trump was just as surprised as everybody else.
I think so. Yeah,
I don't think he was, dude.
No.
I think he was more surprised when he like won like
When he won
he
in a
got-
landslide.
when he even got to a point where he was like in the primary.
Because I remember watching that election results like live, and it was like 10:30, and they're like, "Yep, okay, he's basically the president now. There's no
Yep,
way Hillary wins."
And he's smoking her.
Yeah,
We did not see this coming. He came right in the back door.
Well,
That's
it was
a-
all the like the states that he targeted were the right spots to go to. You know,
And there were also a lot of states that Hillary didn't even fucking go to.
Right,
Like
yeah.
literally
Dude,
the
she
entire
was
middle of
so
the country she ignored.
Arrogant the entire
Yeah.
time.
that's
Like,
what I mean. She felt like she had it won, and it was locked.
I love
in.
that-
She didn't even have to work.
There was literally a campaign of commercials that I saw that were like, "It's her turn," and it's like, is it?
Nah.
Why? No. I mean, I'm glad the three of us, can talk about it without like yelling at each other. Just give us our like a retrospective about it, because it was a very absurd time in all of our lives.
It definitely changed the
Game.
the whole world.
He doesn't change the game.
Yeah.
It just changed the dynamic of the United States
Yeah.
because people
sure.
don't get along anymore.
No.
Well,
Then
I
they
don't
weren't getting
think-
along before.
Yeah, they definitely.
But now
didn't
it's just
before.
like fucking. Now that's all you have to like listen to.
They've amped it up.
Dude,
I think
it's
it's weird because it's
nonstop.
pushed both sides to be even crazier.
yeah.
I think
we talked
that
about it before.
it's not even like the thing that I see. The thing with Donald Trump to me is like it's not necessarily what he's doing that I have a problem with. It's mostly what he has affected and like how he's affected both sides
Yeah.
to go more extreme. And that's the danger, I think.
I mean, there's people that aren't even my friends anymore because I'm not even a hardcore Trump fan. I just don't mind him. And
Right.
people hate me for that. Like, that's really
Well,
shitty.
that's their
at
issue.
the same time, that's, yeah.
Like they're choosing to be that ignorant and just allow like something so minuscule. I mean, realistically, how much has your life really changed in the past 2 years?
It's gotten a lot more entertaining, I'll tell you that much.
yeah.
Besides just having to listen to it
I use
constantly.
less social media now. So actually, Trump's kind of helped me out a bit.
Right. Nobody wants to be on social media anymore because it's fucking annoying.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. It's like not directly his policies
Yeah.
so much as like
Just the effect he's had on like the
Yeah.
social dynamic.
yeah, and like, you know, the left going wicked hard and fucking trying
And
to push everything.
The right going
Well,
wicked
that's another
hard.
thing too, though, is that there's a lot of people that are centralized. I feel like most like us, like what we'd be considered like I just don't pay that much attention to it. I don't really, but then like the like far left and the far right are the ones that the media decides to push.
Yeah,
because
also
they're
talking
getting
most.
the ratings. Like,
Yeah.
that's all that matters to these networking companies is that like
They're also trying to constantly push their own shit, and like the
Yeah.
people in the middle aren't trying to push anything.
like
They
the
just want-
left, just seemingly as far as I've seen, has gone like hard,
yeah,
like socialism.
Yeah.
yeah,
And like
basically.
that's just not.
It's 'cause they're
it's
trying to get as
proven
far
to
away-
be horrible for
Look at Venezuela, dude.
Venezuela. Is
Did you see the
fucked
video
right
of-
now?
There were people protesting in the streets, and they called in fucking military tanks, and they ran people over.
yeah. You're not
Because the government can do it, dude. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Because in socialist governments, the people have no fucking control. The government has like their
I like
hands
that.
in
I like that
everything.
Heath over here is chuckling. Like,
I just said own.
yeah,
That's the thing.
Dude,
Don't. It's
crazy,
like
man. It's
you can take. There's no. I don't like the idea of going anythingist. Like
No.
strictly. You
Except
know, don't go
revisionist.
socialist. Like strictly. It's like there's nothing wrong with taking certain parts of certain things that work.
Yeah.
But don't go. Hey, let's be a socialist country.
Problems with socialism and communism is that it always looks great on paper. Like everybody's gonna make out great, blah 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 blah. But you have like nobody factors in like when the government has full control over like healthcare and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
They get to decide what people get cared for. You know, like they get to fund. They're basically in control of all funding. So if they decide like this cancer is more important than this cancer, then this person's gonna get surgery. This other person's not.
Yeah.
And it's like
I mean, in a way, they can already do a lot of that if they really want to.
yeah, but and it also in the aspect of like everybody making the same amount of money. Like that's more like communism.
it's more of a pipe dream.
But it's
too.
kind of like a socialist thing as well, as everybody making a similar wage, or like you take away people's initiative when everybody makes the same amount of money. So what's gonna make somebody want to go to school to become a doctor when they're
Yeah,
gonna make the
there's
same
no,
amount of money as the fucking person that's doing nothing?
Yeah.
And, like-
well, they're not. They're
and,
not.
and you strip away people's individuality too, and I think that's a big problem. Is
The idea it's not that you're making less. You're the same amount of money as someone who's doing nothing. It's you would be making more. Everyone makes the same. Like if you're talking about UBI, it's like everyone's making the same flat rate to basically live, but the other people who want more money are doing jobs and fucking pushing themselves. That's a Yang thing, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Like I do agree. I don't think that would probably. I think people would probably just be complacent and stay where they, they're making X amount of money already. They're like, if we can live, why should I push myself?
Why would
to
I
do
work
anything?
any harder?
But and then the counter argument is, hey, they're only going to want to do the things that they actually want to do and try and do those things. And it's
Yeah.
weird because nowadays you can kind of do whatever you want and get famous with it if you push it the right way and if you do it right. If you're good at anything, really, you can be big with it.
Mm-hmm.
As weird as that is.
I think there's just a problem with people not sitting down and talking. People would rather sit in their echo chambers and build each other up, and then
blow
lash
up.
out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big problem that you have.
It's like you don't see any of that shit that much in the real world. Like it's
No.
all fucking this social media landscape and today where everything's done virtually.
And everything's hyperbolic online too. I mean,
It's so easy to fucking yell at somebody online too,
Yeah.
and you
don't have any reparation.
there's
Like
no
you don't have to worry
consequence.
about any reprimandation because
Yeah.
they don't know you.
yeah,
Like 90% of the time, if you're arguing with somebody, you're arguing with a person that you'll never meet in real life.
exactly.
That's
And
why
even
it's
if
so
you did
pointless.
meet, you wouldn't even know
Yeah.
potentially.
It's some dude in Arizona, and like like if you ever were in Arizona and walked right by him, you would
wouldn't
have no
even know.
idea who that guy is because their avatar, because their profile picture is a American flag and an eagle.
There is a lot of things, like, I've seen a lot of people on the left and just journalists in general, they attempt to dox anyone and everyone.
Yeah, that's a big thing I've seen recently too. Where what was the CNN thing where a guy made a GIF of Donald Trump beating up a guy, and the guy's face was CNN's logo, and they threatened to release the guy's name and address and stuff if he didn't like remove it from his Twitter page or some shit. And it's like that. I think it's very. I was actually thinking about this in the shower, how fast like the internet has come along. I mean, it went from being kind of a novelty from when like the early 2000s when we were kids
Yeah.
to now all of a sudden everybody's always connected, and nobody really got a chance to learn how to use the internet.
That's what I mean,
People just
yeah.
went along with it, and now all of a sudden it's a mistake. Like it really is. Like
It moves too fast.
it was something. It's something that shouldn't be as. I don't know. It shouldn't affect as much as it does.
Yeah,
'cause
it's like
I
the
think-
pace of it is like like the internet is in the fucking left lane and we're in the right lane we're going 60 and the other one's going 80
Yeah.
and we can't catch up to the fucking internet. Like
Yeah,
we just
and-
don't know how to do it.
And it seems like I feel like internet culture and actual culture should be as separate as possible, like it used to be.
Yeah.
But now it's become so ingrained into everybody to just. I mean, we have fucking supercomputers basically in our pockets at all times. You have one attached to your wrist.
Right.
Like
It's funny because like some of the games I play on my phone, like graphically now, they're better than like they're almost Xbox 360 graphics.
Yeah.
Like what
Right.
the fuck
Yeah.
is going on?
I mean,
here?
I have a full PlayStation 1 and like a Nintendo 64 built into my phone. And I don't even use it because it's like not convenient enough. Like,
yeah,
like, you know, like it's just weird, man. And
I was discussing that kind of topic recently with someone about how like our generation tends to get like a bad rep because we have this need for instant gratification, but we have grown up like with technology advancing so rapidly that like we're not used to having to wait for things.
yeah,
We're not, maybe we are expecting instant gratification, but that's because that's what we grew up with.
there's a reason we expect it. It's not
Like-
we just
yeah.
we're
So,
born
like-
expecting it.
I have big problems with like the generations ahead of us that decided that our generation's a problem, because there are a lot of ignorant people in every generation, and like you can't call our generation lazy and like entitled and you know you need instant gratification blah blah blah, because who raised us? You know what I mean? Like you're the
Yes.
ones that fucking bred us to be this way. If we have such a problem and if we're the way we are, there's a reason behind that. And like you're probably the fucking problem. And I've met like way more people 40 and above that are way more entitled and like just, you know,
I think
unwilling
things
to-
take a long time to change, and so like you can't just because there's problems now doesn't mean there wasn't problems back then. You know, like
well, it's the same. That's what I mean. Like
it's also more in your face now, just because we can see it all the time. with
I
just-
work with a lot of like seniors, so like my favorite line from them is like, "This world's gone to shit." It's like, okay,
You didn't
in
think
the
that-
Middle East,
you
it's
didn't
really
think that
shitty.
when Vietnam was happening,
right? You didn't think that when World War II was going
Yeah.
on, like, because the world's gone to shit now. But before there was millions of like, I mean, there's terrorist attacks. Obviously, that's not good. And, like, no violence is good, but millions of like people were getting killed in genocide, and the world wasn't going to shit then.
Yeah,
Like your fucking timeline was pretty fucked up too. You
And
know?
that was only the shit that we've heard about. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of other shit, like in war crimes and stuff that have happened that just get brushed. There's shit going on right now that just doesn't get brought up.
Right.
I mean, there's
always war and violence.
you
Like
know.
the world hasn't gone to shit.
the world. It just is kind of bleak.
it's always been like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Since the fucking dawn of man, like we were fighting each other for food sources. It's like that's just how it was. The first dude that learned how to pick up a rock and bash the other dude in the head.
because
with it.
regardless of like how advanced in our minds work, we're primal and we're animals.
Yeah.
And we have instincts, and our instinct
There's a
becoming
need.
what we have become
Yeah.
has always just been fight
And I think
and
that
survive.
like, there's something in our blood about like conquering and being the alpha male. It's just
I
natural.
think that comes with consciousness, like a lust for power,
yeah.
like a desire. That all comes because I guess subconsciously even like animals are like that. Like
Yeah,
I'm the
certainly.
biggest gorilla.
Oh, there's
in the
definitely
pack.
like alpha male.
It's
like,
not to the extent
each
of, like,
animal for sure.
Hitler and Stalin and shit, but like
Yeah, even dogs. Like if you have multiple dogs, you can tell which ones are.
In control.
Yeah,
it's not Sandy.
yeah. It ain't
No,
Sandy.
it's not
No,
Sandy.
Actually,
Rock,
it is.
No,
It is Sandy for
Eh.
sure. Because it's funny because every time you give both of them like food, she's like she finishes hers and then goes in like to try and take his.
I think it's because Rock can't see where it is. Though.
Yeah, so he's trying to
So
figure
she
shit out.
takes
still.
advantage of his blindness.
Yeah, he's like got like equations going on in his head, like trying to figure shit
He's
out.
like that 4-panel thing with like the lady looking at all the angles and shit.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't like the angle. Can
I
we?
don't like the angle. Why don't you like the angle?
Like of the camera?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can we?
It's a
I don't
great
know.
angle.
Can we start at 1?
Let's start over. I don't like the way I look.
why? Can you see my gut in this frame?
Yeah, I feel like we should take it back to 1.
All right, let's start fresh. Simultaneous clap.
But I don't know, man. I think
That CNN shit gets weird too, though, right? Like the whole Fox News is like this fake news thing.
I think that's a good thing that Trump has actually done. Is it's made people question where they get their sources from.
It's made people aware, yeah.
And,
well, they were already aware, I think,
and
but
a lot of other people are really good at that too. The media, whoever the media is blaming for a certain thing, is somebody you should check out just in case that they're actually doing something right.
The thing I don't like is that he can just like say shit whenever he wants, and then if a different source like reports on it and calls him out on it, he can just be like, "Oh, that's fake news,"
Yeah,
and then everybody believes him.
I think the crazy thing too is. This is the last thing I'm going to say because we haven't really talked about it yet, but the amount of mental gymnastics that people do to say that they hate Trump, like
People just want to be right.
Well,
you know?
like I've said before, like, you know, if you look at the statistics and all that, America's been doing pretty good since he's been president, but the social fabric has fizzled away.
Yeah.
And
it's not a one-dimension game that he's playing.
No. And all in all, he doesn't present himself in the most glamorous way, and that's an issue that I take personally because, you know, Barack Obama was a very professional guy, and Trump, I mean, he gets shit done, but he's really abrasive.
Yeah.
And
you know, it's almost weird that the American flag has become like a conservative logo nowadays.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well,
because
that's 'cause
they
they're telling you
associate
to
the
do
right
that.
with like
being pro-America.
right
Yeah.
with being having pride for the country. And
Yeah.
Yeah, but for some reason it just is.
You know
Nowadays,
what
if you
throws
see
me
an
off?
American flag, it's more associated with that side.
it seems to me like the left would have, to me, like back in like the early like not like 90s 80s 90s, like, you know how like they had like all those like you know, punk people and shit that were like anti-government and all that shit. Those are the people I feel like are like left-wing now, and those are the people that are like rooting for
Rebellion.
full fucking government control, though, like with socialism. Like, so rather than being anti-government, they're just anti-corporation because they don't like capitalism for some reason.
It seems like there's
Let's
no
give
like
government
anarchists.
full control over our life.
Yeah, like because back in the day, like when I was like, I don't know, 15, 16 or
Listening to
whatever.
the Sex Pistols and jerking off in the mirror.
Yeah, like listening to Bad Religion and shit.
Yeah.
There was like anarchy signs and shit, and people were fucking, you know, and not like super serious about it, but like still they were revolted, like they were against like this systematic government sort of thing.
Right.
No one's really like that anymore. They just go like, because it feels like the only opposing side to Donald Trump, if you don't like him, is just to go far left.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's their spot now, instead of being against all of it. Yeah.
Literally, yeah. What were you going to say, Ken?
I could kind of explain that whole like,
Turn on.
American flag symbolism thing, like between the right and the left.
The American what do you mean?
Like, no, how,
Papa Squat, dog.
He's dressed as a radio show host today.
He kind of looks like Howard Stern with short hair.
Yeah.
Anyways, know how you were explaining how how the American flag itself almost seems like a different
Yeah, it's got like its own. It's like it's got a different meaning almost now.
I mean,
because there's a different right and the left from like nowadays. Like you on the surface, you're gonna see something more like, I guess, based in like economics if you're just looking at mainstream type things. But when you truly look at what's behind it all, what it really is traditional America versus revolutionary America currently.
Right.
Like the right sort of vanguards like the tradition of America, such as the founding fathers, the Christianity, the
picket fence and the married couple and the dog. And
Right,
the
yeah.
Anglo-European.
Yeah.
Well, the left sort of represents more this globo homo.
Like this
It's a,
globalist, like not globalist, but like this just weird blend of cultures.
Well,
that
it's almost
isn't-
yeah, which is part of what America is already traditionally.
But I think the big thing is that that blend of cultures together created American culture.
Yeah.
And now people are rejecting standard American culture to make their own.
That's what I was gonna like. when the original immigrants came to the United States, many of them were European, which those immigrants already shared very similar values as American people.
Yeah.
And so you have that blend of culture, and that's what created, like you said, the American value. But now you see a lot more like immigrants coming from countries that aren't European, like Middle Eastern countries and Southern American countries, and they're not willing to change. They're not willing to adapt to our culture. They want to bring their culture with them and then just use our country as like a habitat.
And the weirdest
to,
thing though is that our culture isn't so much our culture, it's as it is developed from other cultures. You know?
That's the point, but it's still American culture. Like you can have, the
it's
way
a complicated thing though, because this is the whole situation, is that our traditional values are based on a whole bunch of blended values. So and it's also based on people being able to come here.
But at the same time, going back to what Christian said about people expecting things right away, people are trying to push these things and trying to change society and culture so fast that's what's dividing everybody. It seems like, and this isn't anything I'm saying out of spite, but I think it's crazy. Like, or not crazy. It's just a little. What's the word I'm looking for? Kenny could probably help me out. After I explain my point, you could probably think of the word I'm looking for. But it's basically like, I just remember a few years ago, like gay marriage was a big deal, and they finally passed it. Thank God they passed gay marriage, and
right, because you've been waiting for that.
I've been waiting for that shit. But no, so they finally passed gay marriage, and that was like seen as a milestone, and that was only 7 or 8 years ago. And now all of a sudden, like if you could tell people 8 years ago that people are advocating for like, no mandatory vaccines, pump your kids full of hormones, like let illegal immigrants vote. There's people campaigning to let people from other countries vote in American elections because America is seen as too powerful for their own people to vote in their own elections.
I think we should have like fucking tests to be able to vote, because you should have to be somewhat smart.
It's like
I don't
a
want
whole
like fucking
thing,
Jeb
man.
with the fucking underbite from fucking Missouri or some random shit. Like
I wouldn't even want a Jeb with an underbite from Silicon Valley being able to vote.
Yeah.
I don't care where you're from.
my whole point in that.
As long as you're white, you can vote, man.
as long as your name's not Jeb and you don't have an underbite.
My whole point in that, though, with like how, obviously, like you're saying, the American culture was created by culture of immigrants bringing their shit over, but
They
we
all
haven't.
agreed on it,
At this point, we have an established culture, and it's been established for hundreds of years. It's developed, obviously, but like. I think you were telling me about there was like some initiative.
Seen things though that the founding fathers have said that like you kind of have to change. Like,
Well, right, yeah, everything progresses.
how long ago was that?
Yeah,
It's
but like,
things
what are you
different.
thinking? Like slavery? That's been done.
My
man.
whole point is that at one point, everybody in the United States shared similar values. And now we see all these people from different cultures coming to the United States and cultivating. And it's well known that when you have divisions of culture, there's going to be conflict. So now, rather than everybody coming here, learning the American value and living together in like peace, or as peaceful as it can be, you have all these divisions of people, and now we're seeing this giant explosion of like division because nobody agrees with each other, because we no longer share a value. We just live in a country with millions of different cultures.
As weird as it is, I think everybody has that same vision. Like they want that, but they have different ideas of how to get to that. And because of that, they just fight each other with which one's right. I think it all comes down to who just wants to be right is really what
Religion's a big problem too.
Yeah. Well, they just want to be like, oh, like this is my idea and I am going to defend it till death because I just don't want to be wrong. That really is what it comes down to.
We are in some shit. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only hill I'm willing to die on is like you shouldn't pump your 6-year-old full of testosterone.
Yeah, maybe don't.
You should let them mature before they make that
thing
decision for
I was
themselves.
talking to somebody at work about this.
There should be an age, like a mandatory age.
She's like full blown, all on board for that. And I was telling her about how I have a cousin that's around our age that's gay. And all growing up, he would think he was a girl, dress like a girl, act like a girl, watch fucking girly shit, dress in pink shit like that. Come to find out when he's like 15 or 16, oh, I'm actually just attracted to men, and I didn't know how to express that because I was a child.
Right.
And like nowadays, if a kid does that, the parent I don't know if it's I don't know. If
I don't know
canon
how
or not.
common it is.
I don't know how common it is either, but I've read about it whatever.
It's
The kid doesn't know yet, like what he or she wants. And the parents are just taking full fucking like control over it.
At that
And
age,
there's
they
also
haven't had-
pressures.
there
too.
are
It's almost
parents
like
that
they're pressured
want-
into doing it.
There are parents that like wanted the other gender, and they do that to their kids so that they do.
That one's fucked up,
And that's real.
I've seen that. That one kind of scares me.
You ever see those drag queen children?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on that.
I gotta pee so bad.
It's just
Dude, no, what Kenny just said, there was a thing I saw, there was a huge controversy about it with, they're letting children do drag queen shows at like strip clubs and shit.
yeah.
Like, and they're dancing for money, but they're not getting naked, are they? I mean, they might be, but I've been reading about that too. And it's just this whole era of just
there's
degeneracy, like the you know, it's like it's like way too in your, like, pride parades used to be a nice thing to celebrate, you know, being proud of who you are, and now all of a sudden they can't show pride parades on the news because it's people dressed up in gimp suits like fucking whipping
I think
each
the
other and
pride
shit.
is part of the thing that draws people to it. Like, I think the reason a lot of people want to get into this weird transition phase, even though they haven't really thought about it enough, is like
being a
they're-
part of something.
Yeah, and they're also looked at as like brave and all this shit.
And there's
now.
nothing wrong with wanting to be a part of something like that or being proud of who you are, but
as
I think,
long as that is actually who you are, and I don't think when you're a kid you've had enough experiences to
Yeah.
recognize that, hey, like maybe I'm not this. Like, you know, I don't think you have decided that yet.
yeah.
I think you got to be. I would say like you have to be at least 20,
Yeah.
at least.
I mean, I'm the purest. I'm not the purest. I'm the furthest thing from a pure individual. But at the same time, you know, you don't see me walking around in like a leather strap BDSM suit getting whipped by a 50-year-old woman
Right.
in the name of fucking pride.
But you could. And
I
people
could
would
if I
say that
wanted
you're
to,
brave.
and it'd be fine.
You'd be brave.
Yeah, I'd be brave and courageous, and
Yeah, stunning and brave.
you know. But nobody says I'm brave when I like put fucking vegetables in my ass in private. You know, it's fucking bullshit, dude.
It's yeah. I mean, I guess if you start a hashtag or something, you can
Yeah.
get it going.
I don't know, man. It's just there's a lot of things that I feel like this is one of the reasons why I really appreciate that we do this, because we have a way to express our ideas and our thoughts about things.
Yeah, and they're always
And-
wrong.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like
It's never a good
I don't
idea.
care if everybody listening to what we have to say disagrees with us, as long as we are allowed to say it, and you can't do that in a lot of places either.
Yeah, and they can't say anything.
Most places you can't do this.
Yeah, and what can they do right now? We're just gonna keep talking. They can't say anything to us.
Yeah. I mean,
Back to the
That's another problem with a lot of like anything really is like if you watch like anything on YouTube, it's one guy talking with no counterpoints. So if you sit there and go down a rabbit hole on anything on YouTube, like Flat Earth, you could
Literally
believe it
anything.
after fucking 4 hours because no one's putting any counterpoints out.
mm-hmm.
Like there's no counterpoint at all.
Here's one thing I'm wondering, like,
He's
I
gonna
have a
pull up
feeling
Flat
though
Earth.
that these people are actually like demons that walk the earth. Like, like I mean, look at that. Look at.
I'll
this
drink
pic-
to that.
Look at this.
Is this
picture.
gonna be the
This
one
is-
I'm thinking of? Yup. Fuck that shit, dude. I fucking hate that picture.
Who
That's
is
one
it?
of the drag queens that read to children.
They have this
Yeah.
program where they have drag queens come in and read books to children.
Yeah, that's good. I
Oh,
mean,
there's somebody
that's-
behind you.
It's good for kids, you know. No, there's
There's
not.
somebody at the door.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
Come in.
No, it's too late now. Yeah, I don't know. I like. No, dude. Those, yeah, please eat those. Actually, those have been there for so long.
Are they bad?
No, they're really good. I just don't want to eat them all.
Oh, I don't. The package is open. I'm not eating them.
They've been there.
They're
for
fine.
wicked
They're
long.
little candy hearts.
Are we gonna do like one of those ASMR videos?
No, we only do those with Paul.
But
Wendy's is like wicked bad for you. Pretty much everything at Wendy's is bad for. They have they do
they're
have
way softer than I thought they'd be.
I heard that the other night.
what? They're softer than
I'm
that.
way softer than she thought I was gonna be. I was just pushing rope.
I thought those were the hard ones, like the. They're not like the sweet. They're like chewy sweet tarts.
Can we take this back to one?
Yeah, let's take it back to one.
I don't
You
understand.
know what
that.
also was down there? Your baby bottle pop
Yeah, I
that
was
you're
looking
never
at it.
gonna eat.
Is it? Oh, it's like half done.
Yeah, I took a
Why
big
is that
bite
even
out
there
of it.
then?
No, because they don't expire for a long time.
Just keep it fresh.
I've literally had this since like fucking like the second week of January.
A couple of thousand
Since
years.
second grade.
It's been here since
They
the
last
dude-
a really long time.
Yeah, that's been around since that first
I'm
dude picked
surprised
up
no.
the rock and bonked the other guy on the head with it.
I'm surprised how well the swirl stayed.
The swirl is like really fucking ingrained in there, dude.
The swirl, the swirl durability is like way up there too. I feel like they don't make swirls like that anymore.
We'll have to do something next time where we like taste test random shit and have to decide
You
what
can
it is.
try me, I can try you.
Yeah.
We can try each other.
Whose butthole is this?
Yeah.
Well, mine tastes like golf balls.
And
Or is
we'll,
it mothballs?
Mothballs?
I think it's mothballs,
Are
actually.
you calling it golf balls?
Was I saying golf balls?
I
this
was
whole
hearing
time?
golf balls.
Oh. I have a sinus
Golf.
infection.
Golf
balls.
balls. You have a sinus infection?
Somebody has a sinus infection. I think I just have. I took Sudafed today, and I think it wore off.
So you have a sinus infection?
Somebody has one.
Somebody, yeah, it's somebody
It's
in the
not
world.
me. I don't have a sinus infection, but I am a little stuffy.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's normal for this time of year.
Yep.
But
Cocaine's cheap around this time of year, so
I'm so glad that the new Android update finally has the fucking like when you get a text, you can drag it down from your notification thing and just type.
That's how
in the
mine
response
is.
there.
My phone's
So
always-
see,
much-
Android, you guys are
my
behind.
phone's always been like
I think
that.
it's had it, but that's just because I got a new phone.
You know what I saw?
I was gonna say
Samsung's making that fold phone now.
I don't want to.
Yeah, we talked about
It's
that last
cool.
time. It is kind of cool. I like the idea.
That's where it's gonna head, though. Like, even if they haven't perfected it, and there's gonna be a shitload of issues.
Yeah, it's
but
not
that's
even
what.
closed.
What else can they do with smartphones? Like, they have to do something where you can turn it into a tablet. Like, that's the only
I feel like
route
less
that they
people
can
are
take.
buying tablets anyway now, so because it's like no one wants
I mean,
to carry
they keep
two
making the
things.
phones fucking bigger. Eventually, it's gonna get obnoxious, and you can't put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
So, like, make something that's that size that folds open that has a bigger screen on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't like it?
No, I really think it's a stupid idea. Not that I don't. I just personally would never buy one ever, even if it was $1.
It was like $2,000.
Yeah, that's even
$2,000,
that's 2,000 more reasons why I wouldn't get one.
I mean,
Like-
phones shouldn't be that expensive anyway. I think I bought mine for like $1,000.
Yeah, that's about what mine was. I think this was like $1,001.
But they have like a payment thing, so like I can just pay it on a monthly.
Oh, I didn't. Mine was
$1,000 and 1 penny.
Yeah, because the Razor
It's
phone.
like Dwight when he's in the fucking
Is that what that
auction.
is? Is the
yeah,
Razr phone?
They don't. They're not. They don't go by carrier. They only take certain SIM cards. They only take like AT&T, T-Mobile, and like fucking whatever the fuck
And AT&T
Canada has,
Mobile.
like Roger or Bell or some shit.
Okay.
And then like, so I think in America they work with everything except Verizon because Verizon has their own specific type of SIM card.
I have Verizon. I don't. Yeah, and like I used to do Straight Talk.
You can't buy like just a global like a unlocked like SIM card for those.
You might be able.
You
I mean,
can
buy
like you
fucking
can put it
anything.
on. You can put this on Straight Talk with a Straight Talk SIM card, but it's the type of SIM card.
Okay, yeah.
Verizon has to, like just
They have their own like it's like encrypted its own way. Because I'm pretty sure is it still like that where if you buy a Verizon phone you can't just pop your SIM card in it. Or
I don't
can't?
have a SIM card. I don't think. I must have one, but like I don't
Has
know.
It has to because it's the only way it works.
I think
Because
they put
with
they put it
AT&T
in.
phones you can literally just pop in.
I just break mine.
Did you just break your case?
I might have. It's already broken, dude. It's fucked up down here. It's like all split in half and shit. So OtterBox, this lasted me about fucking.
2 months.
Yeah, I've had it for like a year.
Oh, so
But I mean, it started breaking like almost immediately.
Yeah. I'd
And,
rather
like,
have
this
that
little,
break. I'd rather have that break than the phone.
This
right?
little
Agreed.
piece like is wicked fucking annoying. But I think the SIM card gets right there.
yeah.
You know, I don't mind the cases that have the little plugs like built into them that plug up the like
Yeah.
headphone jack and the.
I bought one of those.
It just
charging
sucks when you have to
stations.
charge because then you have to pull the thing out and.
Is it Samsung that does like battery sharing now? Like you can, if you have the same phones, you can like put them together and you can share. Like if somebody has more battery than somebody else, you can like put them together and it'll share the battery.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. How does that?
You would never have to buy a charger. You could just buy more
So
phones.
I think it's the same concept. I think it's
keep
the same.
buying phones.
It's the same concept as those like pad chargers that you just have the glass and you put it on it.
Yeah.
but you can just
Yeah, but those are
fuck that, dude. That'd be like it would just be like people mooching and
It's
fucking
built into-
battery off you.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be
It
a
is
really
built
funny
into
prank
all the
though.
phones.
Like if you're at a party
Set
and you
your
just like
phone down.
set your phone next to it, you like leech all their battery, and then you like kick them down the stairs and they can't call for help.
Yeah. They're like, why do I have 12% battery all of a
Yeah.
sudden? I had 97 3 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, you know how I was bitching about my battery last week? So I finally figured out what the fuck's been draining my battery this whole time.
You got to restart it, dude.
No, not even that. I found out that with this phone,
It has a battery drain button, and you can drain your battery.
no, with this phone, like you can, like with other Androids, you can click this button and it shows all your panels and stuff. I didn't have the setting on, so when I clear my active apps, it shuts them off. It just like puts them in standby mode.
Okay.
So I would have
So
like
your RAM is being used.
my
like, all
RAM
the
was
time.
literally maximum, and my battery I could watch my battery drain immediately. And I found out that it was because
Everything
literally
was
every
running.
single app on my phone was running all at once, and I never actually shut them off.
Dude, I have this woman that she's in her 80s, mid 80s, and she just really wants to be caught up with technology. So I get a work order every single day just about to go help her with her her shit because there's always something wrong. Like, oh, I don't know what I pressed. Like, this wasn't like this yesterday after you touched it. You know, it's like she has a tendency of like telling me I
You
was
work
the
at a
reason the
nursing home
next
too?
thing fucking fucked up.
What is she using though? Like
She has a basic smartphone and a Fitbit.
We should open up
like
our own nursing home.
is it an Android?
Yeah, it's like a
'Cause
Samsung.
There's a thing with Android that's cool. You can go into the settings and go to smart or easy mode or something like that.
Yeah.
Where like all the apps are bigger on the screen and there's only like the basic stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
for like old people.
Maybe I'll look for that
Do
because
that.
she's a fucking.
My mom has that with her iPhone. She has it like magnified wicked hard because her eyes
you only
are
see one app on the home screen.
Dude,
it takes
her,
up the whole
I'm
thing.
not even kidding. Like the font size on her phone is like that big.
That's fucking crazy.
Like
a Nemesis.
a Nabasis. Check it out.
Her phone
Probably not that big, but I would say like as big as my time on my phone.
Yeah.
That's how big her fucking font is.
Wow.
Like if I sent her a text message that was like 3 sentences, she'd have to scroll like 7 times to read the whole thing. But the thing that I'm about to rant about my mom real quick, just for a second, because it makes me laugh every time it happens. My mom has fake nails. Does your parents have? Does your mom have fake
My mom's
nails?
allergic to the glue.
Does your mom have fake nails at all?
I have real ones. I don't know if she does. Oh,
Kenny, does your
probably,
mom have
yeah.
fake nails?
We have the same mom.
Oh, you do. See, none of my siblings and I are like that. So we all have different parents. But my mom will try and use her phone, but she'll swipe with her finger, but then tap with her nail. And it's really funny when we'll like be sitting in like the living room and we'll be like watching a show or a movie, and all of a sudden you just hear like,
Yeah.
and then because she's trying to fucking open a Facebook link.
I think they're heat sensitive, aren't they? Most of the time.
Yeah, but nails aren't really warm.
Yeah, so it
Generally.
doesn't really work.
But it
You
was
can get them that are pressure sensitive, and I think most of the screens, like this one, is like you can set it to be pressure
like
sensitive.
same with this one. But another thing that gets me is the amount of random things that get bought. Like Facebook is dying, but Facebook yard sales are thriving, dude.
my computer.
The
Gets,
Facebook Marketplace is actually a great place
It's amazing.
to sell your shit.
my computer's getting your text messages.
Is
My computer's actually linked to my phone, so like I can respond
Oh,
to
shit.
text
Katie
messages.
just sent you
through,
an-
You are
nudity
getting
pic.
blown the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, she just sent. Oh,
you.
and Christian just.
I sent
a
you
naked
one.
pic. I think it's my ass.
I didn't want to be mean. I didn't want to announce it on the air.
but I can actually respond to text like on my computer.
That's
now.
cool.
I can respond to text on my phone.
Yeah, but if I'm on my computer, you know,
I have it on my computer too, but my computer's in my bag right there.
I only got 2 messages actually.
That was the thing I really liked about iPhone is the iMessage thing. So like all my messages would be consistent with like my Mac and my phone. So if like my phone was upstairs and I brought my laptop downstairs,
You have a Mac?
I used to. Well, I still do. I don't use it. Funny story, actually. Actually, it's mostly depressing. I was really drunk one night and was listening to music, and I ordered delivery food, and it got to my house. And so I took my earbuds off and then closed my lid of the laptop, and one of the earbuds was on the keyboard, and I fucking cracked the shit out of the screen.
Oh, fuck.
And it's a 15-inch Retina display MacBook that I got for graduation. That was like $2,500.
Yeah.
And to replace the screen was, since it was the Retina display, it was like,
$2,500.
it might.
It was 20. That would be
I
25.
asked them how much it would be, and they were basically like, "You're better off just buying a whole brand new computer
Holy
because I
fuck.
would have
That's
to
the
ship."
problem with Apple, dude, that I don't like.
Well,
is
it's
that,
the
a lot
because
of
it's a
their shit
4K
is-
screen,
Mhm.
and
That Retina display, you can't get it on a PC.
well, I think it's retarded that they
No, you
call it.
can,
They
man.
call it Retina display, but it's literally just 4K. Like they could have just
Yeah.
called it 4K.
Well, they want to be different.
yeah,
I've been seeing those weird computer monitors that curve.
Mhm.
How are those?
they're okay.
Nothing
They're probably
special.
cool, I guess.
Those
It's just-
TVs didn't seem to take off.
it doesn't seem
The,
necessary.
the
that's all.
curved TVs are pretty good for sports. Gary's has a curved.
It seems
TV.
to me like you'd have to have like it's only for one person who's sitting.
It's-
Like sitting
it's,
directly in the center
Well,
of
because
it.
they're not as curved as people like think. I mean,
Not as
it's
curved
not
as
a
your wiener.
C.
no, they're kind of like angled out a little more. So it's mostly just for a spatial thing. Like it'll be like, a 66-inch TV, but it'll only take up as much space as a 60-inch, which doesn't sound like a lot.
Yeah.
But 6 inches is good enough. If you know what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
Christian.
You gotta know how to move it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's
Mhm.
like, yeah.
I love how gay I
He only
get
has
when
5
he's here.
though.
But
I don't know about 6. I'm only sitting at a strong 5.2.
Yeah, 5.2.
I think that's the problem with
I'm
Apple.
like, yeah, guys, that is hilarious.
But yeah, basically, fucking, to replace the screen, I would have had to pay like I think it was $1,200 or $1,500, but I would have to send the laptop back to Apple for they were like, it could take anywhere from like 4 to 6 weeks, and it's like, I don't want to go without my laptop for 6 weeks, but also be paying over $1,000 to fix it.
Secretly, Jake's like counting the days he can't watch porn. He's like, nope.
Yeah, I can only watch porn in 4K, dude.
Yeah.
It probably changes the game.
But I ended up just fucking. I spent like $900 on the Acer Nitro 5,
Mm-hmm.
and it's better than my desktop. like,
Yeah.
like it's 16 gigs of RAM, a 1060. Jesus Christ, a GTX 1060 fucking video card, an i7 processor. The only problem is that the screen is only 1080p and 60 hertz.
Your words mean nothing to me. I know not at all of what
I thought you had a
speak of.
computer.
I own a computer, yeah.
Oh,
It's like an HP with Windows 97.
it's like an HP.
It's got Windows 95,
It's
yeah.
like an HP Pavilion with Vista.
No, I haven't.
But it's-
Well, I can't say I do, but I
He's
live
like-
in, I live in
he's
a
like-
home that owns a MacBook.
He came in and he was like, "Dude, your computer's awesome. It's got red light on the front."
Did he really say that?
I was like, dude, "Well, I mean, realistically, you could probably install a red light on." Your
I'm going to go
computer.
ahead and say that if a computer comes with a red light in the front, it's probably nicer than just your typical Dell.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely.
Yeah, but you
is.
could always just put a red light on.
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah, but do they
And
though?
if it's
Do you
running
remember the
Windows
do they do
97,
that?
Do you
just get a
remember
new
the-
case. Just get a
Yeah,
new case for
for
it.
Is
sure.
that all that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the interior.
So could you get a clear case so you
That's
can
what
see all the
my old desktop was, a clear case.
That's cool.
Just the front. The front was metal and the
You
back
can
was
see
metal.
the inside
and then
from the
both
left
sides-
side of it.
Yeah, mine actually
Okay.
was kind of just like his, but different.
Yeah,
So did you order it with the red light?
yeah, it's got the red light. It came
bought
a
it
red
with
light.
that?
Yeah,
So when you went and purchased that computer, it automatically had the red light.
it had a red light.
So yes, it's a
You can-
nicer computer. What is it? An Alienware?
No,
No, it's custom built.
yeah,
Custom built.
just get a new case, dude.
So what was I wrong though? You make fun of me for the red light, but was I wrong? I was not.
No, I
About
guess
what?
not.
How it's better?
How it's better.
Oh yeah, no, it is, but it's just funny. It's just funny, dude. No, because I honestly really thought that you had like a fucking Battle Station computer. Like I don't know why I did, but I thought you did.
No.
Do you have a Battle Station, Ken? Maybe I got you confused.
I don't have any computer.
I don't have any.
I don't have any
computer.
computer.
I don't know.
No, I have a. We were thinking about getting a Mac desktop,
Don't
but
or do if you want to. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, man.
well, I don't play video games on the computer,
Oh, then a Mac's perfect.
so it doesn't really make a fucking difference. It would probably be like work related.
I mean, I wish that my fucking laptop had Mac OS just because I like Mac OS way more than I like Windows. But that's also because I exclusively use Mac OS for like 5 years.
But Mac doesn't support a lot of video. Like you can't even get Steam on Mac. I don't think.
yeah, you can.
You can. It's just there's a lot of games that don't.
And it's
support
mostly
Mac.
just like indie games. Anything that's worth half a shit will be on a MacBook.
right.
Yeah.
It's just that there's
Like-
less you can do, but it's like if you're gonna just do work and shit, it's not gonna really matter.
And the good thing is that if you don't crack your 4K screen on your MacBook, you can just drop it off at the Genius Bar and they'll fix it in like a half hour.
Yeah.
Right. It's only like $2,500.
Like the guy
You
was
can't do that at the Best Buy.
No, you can't. The guy was telling me that if I didn't have
that was
the
low.
You
Retina
might be able
display,
to.
like if it was a regular MacBook, they would have been able to fix it in like an afternoon.
You bought the good one though.
Oh, dude, it was almost $3,000.
So what happens if somebody goes over and gives that like a kick?
What, the desktop?
Yeah.
How hard of a
How
kick?
much would it
Some
cost
Like
you?
it would take a.
Like if it took a full blow, and
computers
it, like, it
are a lot
wasn't
more
working at all.
durable than people think. I mean,
Yeah.
everything's soldered in
You'd
there
also
and everything.
have to
Pretend
diagnose.
you were like hanging out on the roof playing a video game. Like you just set this whole thing up, and it rolled off the roof.
Okay, the roof is different. It would break.
How much would it cost for you to fix it?
You'd probably
It probably just costs time and effort, really.
You'd have to diagnoose what is broken.
Yeah,
and
you'd have
what
to go into
isn't.
Well, if
troubleshooting.
it fell off the roof, probably everything's broken.
Yeah. Like my desktop has been broken for 2 years now, and all that happened was the power supply blew. But I really don't want to take it all apart just to put a new power supply in.
It falls off the roof. Only thing that works is the red light. I'm like, yep,
Worth
quality.
It still
Worth
works.
it.
Still works.
It still looks like an awesome PC as long as it has the red light.
That's the thing too that I love about computers is that, like, you know, my desktop that I've had, I built it back in 2011, but that was like a $2,000 computer, and it was basically like built to last. So like, you know, I could fix it if I'm just really fucking lazy. Like, and I also have to put my desk back together, and I really like having that area in my room for just more shit to pile up instead of having a desk there. Like, I really enjoy that corner of my room that I have 2 laundry hampers in instead of having my computer desk, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it's a great corner.
You never realize how much room you could have for just miscellaneous items until it's gone.
Dude, I have no room for anything.
Well, then definitely get a fucking MacBook.
Yeah, and then get rid
I
of it.
have one.
Yeah, because the only place where that's going to be is the trash.
Where's that?
The trash?
The trash.
It's trash.
Do you have a trash room in your house?
I
Or is
have
that
a
just
trash
bedroom?
can.
Yeah, why would you
Do
need
you have a trash
room for-
can't?
I don't.
Well, get with the times, dude.
I have one of those step trash cans, so you don't have to touch the top.
Oh, you fucking loser. I have one of those too.
Don't have to touch the top.
What's so scary about
It
touching
is
the
pretty
lid?
scary, dude.
So you wouldn't use that trash can because you have to touch the lid?
Oh no, I've used that. That's
Look how
Jim.
fucking dirty that trash can is,
Dude,
though.
filthy. That he's had that trash can
That
since like
trash can has cigarette stains
since I've been
on it.
alive.
It's a
I
great
shoved
trash can.
so much shit in that trash can.
What, like babies and stuff?
Well, mainly like
Iguanas?
Well, this
baby
doesn't
iguanas?
fit. Like the whole body weight.
Dude, if you put your body weight in that, you can fit
Yeah,
years
yeah.
of trash.
Yeah, it's got capacity.
I don't think that trash has ever been changed, as far as I know. It's always the same stuff is in there.
There's actually a hole in the floor, and it goes right down through into the living room.
Just falls
And then
straight
the
to
dogs
living
take
room.
care of it.
The dog's thrown in the fire pit.
Well,
I guess we got to wrap because
We gotta
he's
wrap.
he's bad at time.
I'm actually over. I stayed 15 minutes over.
You're not
Jesus.
good at time.
I thought we had till 6.
I told you we had 5.
Oh, Seth told me 6.
You said 6.
Well, we were going to
yesterday.
start at 4. We
my
did start
God.
at 4.
We started at like 3:30.
I told you when we were on the phone, we only had an hour and a half.
Who's,
Yeah, but
counting?
yesterday you
Who's counting?
said-
Who's counting?
I'm counting.
See, that's what I
Who
mean.
needs you?
like-
Your
I have
sister?
a timer, dude.
Who needs you? Your sister?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we're going to do some shit
well, that's
after
fair.
this. So
Well, you know,
we're going to make fucking dank burgers, dude.
dump a load in her and
I can't.
call it a day.
No, this isn't going to be a good way to end. Can we cut? Let's cut that out.
Just find out.
Cut what part out? Is she gonna watch this?
All that.
Is she gonna watch this?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, dump 2 loads in her. No.
Cut?
Double up.
Double or nothing. Show me the money.
No. She'll probably watch this one.
Oh, well, she's not gonna like me. I mean, she already doesn't like me, but
She does like you.
oh,
Yeah.
how much does she like me? Does she like me more than you?
She just knows that you guys call her my sister.
Oh yeah, it's really funny because that's how we met her.
I don't know who decided that.
It was me.
Was that you?
Yeah.
It was you.
Yeah, we were at Seth's party at the bowling alley, and
Yeah.
I sat. You got up, you introduced us, and you got up, and I sat down next to her, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't know Christian had such a beautiful sister."
You said that to her?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
you got really mad at me.
Did I really?
Yeah,
You fucker.
you got.
I said beat it, pipsqueak.
Then you rolled me down the bowling alley.
Yeah,
Actually,
like,
no, you got
crumpled me
mad.
up.
You got mad at Vinny. You got mad at Vinny. You didn't get mad at me. Vinny was taking it a little too far.
Vinny took it a little far,
And he's good at taking it.
but
Yeah,
I
'cause
feel I hold
we
no.
went out. We went
I
out for a.
hold no
We
grudges.
went out for a cigarette, and I was like, I'm just kidding, right? And you're like, yeah, but that fucking Vinny guy, I fucking hate him. You better stay away from my sister.
Dude, I rarely
might-
get jealous, and I was like,
Well, I mean, we
I
were
feel
in a
like
pretty.
there's like I feel like there's a line,
we were in a pretty high profile
And
place.
he crossed it.
We
and
were-
there was a line, and he
Yeah.
stepped over it.
He's a habitual line stepper.
stepper.
Yeah,
No, I don't hold any. I don't give a fuck.
we should tell Vinny that. He thinks you really hate him.
Does he really?
No, I don't know.
We hung out a few times.
Yeah, well, he's still.
God
not sure,
damn it,
man.
fucking Chris! It's all her fault.
Nah, she's great.
No, she is, but I don't know. She's my sister.
Dump 3 in her. Dump 1 for me, dude.
Stop. cut that part out.
You cut any of this,
This one's
out.
for Jay.
And that's a wrap.
That's it. We'll see you next week.
All right, let's start over. Let's go back to 1.
ClearShotsPodcast.com is where you'll find links to everything we do. You can check us out on Twitter at ClearShotsPod. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and check us out on Periscope for live videos. If you have anything you want to ask us, send us an email at clearshotspodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. We will see you next time.